sauce with a saucepan full of pasta and a fork that's set to twirl. We need an exorcist or doctor or a therapist or priest to tell him, Jerry, put the fork down. If you don't put the fork down, the good Lord might not save you, Jed. It's 3 p.m. The sun is setting. The sauce is on his cheese looking red. He's like a zombie. He just needs to rest his head. We need an exorcist or doctor or a therapist or priest to tell him, Jared, put the fork down. If you don't put the fork down, the good Lord might not save you, Jed.
Welcome, everybody, to the inaugural stream of the low budget LCS. It's great to be here with back-to-back streams. I am Jackie Boy. I am joined by Pocket Sand Smite. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello everybody. I'm Pocket Sand Smite. I have been playing League of Legends since 2019, and I have been yapping since I was very young, so this is a perfect combination for me.
Hell yeah. We fully expect this to be about as scuffed as you would expect from the low budget LCS. I'm going to try to add the team logos now, which is probably going to be quite dicey. Logo A. So we got two teams here. We got Pot of Greed versus a couple of Quackers. Those are our two teams that we will be seeing here in this matchup today. I am personally quite excited to begin. We've been looking forward to the start of the LBLCS for well, a long time, a very long time. About as long as the last season ended.
Since April.
Yeah,
when did
something
it
like
end?
that.
Yeah. We're glad to be back. We're glad to have you with us.
Yes, we are super excited. Let me get this. What do I have to do to get that image? I know what I'm doing. Yep, that's about as big and greedy. Alrighty. Pot of Greed. A lovely logo there.
Yeah, that's
And then we're
beautiful.
going to add the couple of Quackers logos soon here as well.
GGG Turtle says go team, and I agree with that.
Yeah, go team indeed. Lot of love team. I also love the couple of Quackers logo. Just great work all around, everybody. We've got the
Oh,
couple of
yeah,
Quackers on the red side. Did you get the draft link?
I didn't get anything.
Alrighty, let me give that to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So that way you can pull that up. Alrighty, so we've got a couple of bans coming out already. The Seraphine getting banned away from the Quackers, and the Hui getting banned away in response. As we head into this lovely matchup here to kick off the season 17
Yeah,
of the
we
low budget
are
LCS.
on a new patch, are we not? 26.16 just came out, I think.
We could be. We could be. I don't know. They don't pay me enough to know those kinds of things.
That's fair.
Which is to say they don't pay me at all. Sammy Two Slap redeems caster compliment. Sammy, you are one of the hardest working members of the low budget LCS staff. Your contributions are meaningful, and your dedication to creating content is admirable.
Well said.
Thank you. I thought so too. Okay, we got quite as many. We got a lot of different bans coming out here. We got a support ban, a mid ban, a jungle ban, and then a top lane ban. So we got a lot of things going on here.
I gotta say, I find the Billveth ban interesting because she just went through that giant rework and actually also received a nerf in the latest patch. Looks like some reduction of the attack speed on her R, a little bit less health growth.
Mm-hmm. I have heard that champion is a nightmare for balance.
Yeah, much in the same vein as Zeri, it seems like they can't really decide what they want to do with her.
So, okay, that's our first. So we got the first 5 bans were 5 different roles, and then Sejuani. So no Sejuani looks good here for Pot of Greed. We'll see what they choose to blue 1. The first ever streamed pick in the LBLCS Season 17 will be Syndra. So we're probably seeing this like mage bot situation, if I had to guess.
As a Syndra enthusiast myself, she does quite well in bot lane, so I think that's a pretty solid pick if they do decide to put her there.
Yeah, it's a strong flex pick as well because you can also keep it mid, so it allows the Pot of Greed team to stay flexible as they go through. A couple of Quackers responding with the Wukong, so always an ever-present jungle pick.
Yeah, he in the last couple seasons was picked top a lot, but I haven't seen that much this split or the last split, so probably going to be jungle.
That's where my money would be going. Then we got Ezreal, who doesn't see a whole lot of play outside the bot lane. So far, these drafts are looking juicy. They're looking delicious. Now let's see here. I'm looking at the rosters for these teams, and it looks like Pot of Greed, I think, has a couple of familiar names, but maybe mostly new. But then a couple of Quackers. They've been in the league a little while now. We got Camped, Skyfalker. I don't remember who's playing precisely tonight. We've got, let's see, Daniel Galindo, a Camped, Skyfalker, Red Quaker, and I don't know. We'll see. There's also, they have maybe one of the hardest to pronounce names, Perspicaciosity.
Oh yeah, that's.
Perspicaciosity, I think.
I'm gonna have to practice that.
Yeah. Well, we have our little pronunciation guide here as well, so you can have that as well.
Very nice. Looks like Greed did lock in Jinx Melio for bot lane, which is a really, really good hyperscaling lane.
Yeah, they're saying we're gonna go long. We want this game to last as long as possible. Although I've heard through the grapevine that at least one of these teams would like the games to be on the shorter side, just due to scheduling constraints. So we shall see how that develops.
I'm gonna guess that was a couple of quackers. Ezreal's definitely a pick that's a stronger early game than late, so they may be looking for a quick finish with that Ezreal Nautilus combo.
Yeah, and Nautilus, a really strong pick into the Jinx Milio, Jinx and Syndra, both having no mobility. And then Milio, the little fireball is a nice option to try to stop the Nautilus engage, but if you're hooked, you're hooked.
Yeah, Nautilus, I think a little bit underrated sometimes for his ability to lock people down. Yeah, everybody knows a Mumu can hit you with over 4 seconds of CC, but Nautilus can keep one person locked down for almost as long.
Yeah, Nautilus is one of those champions where if your team is winning, you look like uncontestable. And if your team is losing, you're going like 0-40. Ask me how I know.
Yeah. Trust me, I've played a lot of Nautilus. He was the second champion I played after Blitzcrank, so I know.
Big fan of the hook champs there. I take it.
Yeah, my first role was support. Blitzcrank was my first main. It actually took me years to get 3 champions above him in mastery. Just recently got the third one. It was Syndra. And I ran the whole gamut: Blitzcrank, Nautilus, Pike, Thresh. I went through all of them.
That's important. That's important. And we are getting a confirmation that. Oh, does it go full screen? Wow. I appreciate the tech. Thank you. 6,000. It does go full screen. Would you look at that? I had no idea. And then confirmation from Shards Sup that the new patch has hit today. So those Belveth changes that you were mentioning, but then potentially also some of the changes to the mage bot meta that we were seeing there as well.
Yeah, they have it listed under ADC magic resistance, I think is the primary category for that. So I'm going to scroll down, take a quick look. I have the patch notes open.
And kind of interesting, like a little bit of a discordant theme going on here. I mean, Ezreal can fit within like comps that want to go forward, but it seems like sort of like Nautilus and Wukong seem a little bit off theme compared to Ziggs and Ezreal, who are a little bit more artillery, poke them down. All
Yeah,
of that.
Ziggs absolutely does not want to be close to the enemy team in any way. I think it's interesting though, because he honestly is better bot lane than mid right now. And I had an Ezreal mid in my game recently, so I wonder if we'll see that flexed mid.
Oh, that's quite the flex pick there. I think I'm old enough to remember that there was like an Ezreal mid with smite situation. So
Oh
I'm showing my age with that one. Is
that
Gnar.
sounds like an experience.
Yeah, it was crazy. Gnar 5 to round out our draft here. Yeah, so we've got a couple of rosters we got going on here with the Gnar top lane as a response to the Volley Bear, and we will see indeed how these teams shake out, and we will leave draft up for a little bit before we head over to the client where we shall watch them start to lock these things in.
Yeah, I find the Rammus jungle pick pretty compelling here. The main engage there, Nautilus, Wukong, and even Gnar with his Rock Smash. That's plus Ezreal, even if he's ranged, that's all auto taking champions. Ziggs is going to be the only one that's not really heavily affected by that, but even he's got the passive for the empowered auto attacks.
Absolutely.
That's going to be a great pick for their counter engage.
It sure is. It's going to be a lot of fun to see. I am looking forward to it. It looks like the teams are just about lined up, and we'll get to go in a second. Oh, I meant to invite you. Where are you?
Yeah, I was about to say,
Okay.
please let me in.
All right, and you can hop down and then.
Yeah, perfect.
Sweet. Okay, very nice. And done. Alrighty, we are over in the client now, where we are taking a look at these teams here. We've got it's TiVo, up in the top lane for, I guess that's in the mid lane. They're lined up out of order, but the role quest is mid lane for It's TiVo. And then we got, well, I'll try to do it in the LCS order. And then, so top lane, we've got Hey Nat. That's how you pronounce it. So we got Hey Nat in the top lane for Pot of Greed, followed by Kaiser Elite in the jungle. It's TiVo in the mid lane, and then Big Goose and Prodigy Ace hanging out in the bot lane there. And then on the couple of Quackers side, looks like we've got Daniel Galindo on the top lane there with a camped in the jungle. Skyfalker taking out the mid lane. We've got Red Quaker 1313 in the bot lane, which by process of elimination leaves us Perspicaciousity. Perspicaciousity in the support role.
Hey, that was better though. You're improving.
Listen, loses improve.
I love in the pronunciation document we have emphasis for Skyfucker, emphasis fall. Skyfalker.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that. Always interesting seeing how people choose to display phonetic stuff. All right, let's see here. What we got? We got a couple of things here. We got Ricerin being the latest investor in the low budget LCS. Thank you so much for your investment. You can join us for the board meetings at the Denny's in Vermont. You know which one. You can go around back, talk to our buddy Todd. He's the assistant manager. He also helps with the tournament codes. Thank the dev team. And he'll let you in. Pancakes will be on us. And let's see here. B3R TV underscore says, Jack, please compliment me, and redeems caster compliment. B3AR TV underscore, you are a lovely friend and an entertaining person to play League of Legends with. And I haven't played League of Legends with you in a long time. Gotta change that.
Also potentially one of my teammates on Banana Milk, but I'm not positive because there's 2 bears in the LCS.
There are 2 bears. There's probably like multiple bears in the LBLCS.
Most likely.
Okay, let's see here. So TiVo, mid laner. Remember the Pot of Greed side lined up out of order. So we've got TiVo in the mid lane there on the Syndra. Just taking a look at the teams in the draft. What are some of your thoughts as I start the prediction for this game?
Yeah, I mean, Quackers picked a pretty solid dive comp. They're going to have lots of opportunities to engage. Anytime Syndra's E is down, she's incredibly vulnerable. That's even late game, that's got like a 15-second cooldown. So that plus Milio's kickball, really the main forms of peel. I think they'll look to get those abilities burned before they fully commit to engages. I'm really curious to see. Okay, so it's going to be Ziggs mid lane. I think there was a great opportunity there to really bully the Jinx with the Ziggs, but maybe that's not somebody that's in the bot laner's wheelhouse. So better to keep Ezreal bot lane.
Yep, better to keep it a consistent pick there. But yes, absolutely, the Ziggs. I can imagine the Jinx has a very bad time into that. There's only a little bit of healing through the Milio Cozy Campfire. The shielding can be helpful, but just not quite there.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing, especially, paired with a Nautilus, the Ziggs would be able to walk up pretty confidently and really be aggressive. It's a perfectly good pick into Syndra because he doesn't need to stand anywhere near her. His range is like at the maximum length of her E. There's like a small portion of her E stun range that is like just past what looks like the visible hitbox, and that's probably about where he'll stand if he's throwing max range Qs. So it'll be tough for her to get those stuns off.
That's a real rough one. So we're heading into the countdown there. We've got you've got the prediction up. You can predict. You can use your Schmeckles to predict. Schmeckles. Don't ask me the conversion rate. It's been a rough year for the Schmeck. We got 1,000 schmecks on Pot of Greed and then 3110 on a couple of quackers. I feel like we can do better than that. This is the first stream
Coming
of
in
the LBL.
hot and
Oh,
heavy already.
never mind. Somebody put 10 grand on the quackers. All right, we can keep that going. We can keep that going. If you're a gambling man,
Well,
Pot of Greed looks good. Return is delectable.
I gotta say, if they utilize that Rammus taunt appropriately when quackers look for engages, a follow-up ult from Volibear is gonna look real nice.
Yeah. Volibear is one of those champs. I feel like it's like when I have it on my team, it's a little mouse, and then when I have it on the enemy team, it's the like absolute deity that Volibear actually is.
Yeah.
It's a scary champion.
Yeah, kind of like, Malphite in lore, he's supposed to be the size of a mountain, right? Well, he's
Exactly.
only that size when he's on the enemy team.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Your team, he's like a pebble.
All right, got 2 minutes 30 remaining on this spectator delay before we head into the game. Just off comps, off vibes, off of spiritual awakenings, where would you put your schmeckles if you could predict?
Yeah, it's a little tough for me because, being new to the LBLCS, I don't really know these teams or these players that well, but just purely, based off of the comps that I see before me, um, I'm gonna go. My money's on. I forgot their name. I'm blanking on it. Not
Quackers, Pot of
Quackers.
Greed.
No, Pot of Greed. Yeah, thank you. My money's on
Mhm.
Pot of Greed here. I think if they're able to execute this counter engage strategy properly, they're gonna get Jinx fed, and that's gonna be a big problem.
That's a big ass Pot of Greed. Yeah, absolutely. It's their team has a very, very scary scale potential.
Yeah, that's the other thing I was gonna say. Syndra, a lot of people underestimate how hard she hits when she's fully scaled. You gotta be real careful around her once she gets to around even just 100 splinters.
I mean, I barely like one splinter, let alone 100. So
True.
can't
Yeah.
imagine how bad 100
Hundreds.
splinters would feel.
Yeah, imagine if she gave you paper cuts too. Yeesh.
That'd be bad. That'd be bad. I don't do well. I'm a sensitive individual.
Yeah. So, and I think the impetus is definitely on Quackers to show that they can make this dive comp work. Um, they have all the tools that they need to win the team fights if they execute it properly. But that Rammus taunt is like the elephant in the room for them. If they don't play around it correctly, things will go badly for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rammus is a really strong pick here. Oh, there's really only one main auto attacker in the Gnar. Like Ezreal, a lot of his damage does not come from auto attacks. Wukong, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah,
That,
Ezreal, he weaves the auto attacks. They're not the primary source. Wukong is going to be. I mean, I personally see Wukong as an ult bot. That's his ult just provides so much utility. Sure, if he's doing damage, that's a nice addition. But just the ult alone can win team fights, and for me, that's enough a lot of the time.
mm-hmm. that Wukong ult is disruptive as we head into our first game of the LBLCS season between Pot of Greed on the blue side and a couple of quackers on the red side.
All right, we got to check out the drip. Who's winning the skin battle? Well,
Green
early
Shepherd,
results are in.
yeah.
Nautilus, no skin.
That's a rough one. That's a rough one. We're going to do our best with that one.
And base Nautilus is good, but if we're talking about who wins the drip game, I got to give this one to Pot of Greed.
How do you zoom? Oh, there we go. It wasn't working. Well, now it is working. Okay. Da-da-da. We've got... I don't need the settings button. The time controls, though. Make sure we're up to speed. We are up to speed. Very nice. Let's see. Chat. Objective timers.
Don't
What's
you wish
target frame?
the spectator would just remember the things you want? I
I
wish that a
know.
lot.
I know. That'd be so much easier. And we have our overlay. Boom.
So that's a great ward from the Wukong there. When I play mid, I always try to put a ward on. I usually forget to look at it, but I always put a ward there for my junglers so that they can see where the enemy jungler is and they're clear.
Don't worry about the gigantic words popping up on the stream. That's not as big as I'm going to keep them. Alrighty. Let's see here. So we got the early vision out from the Wukong, just to spot things out. Just like taking a look at like all starting items, summoner spells, rune, keystone choices, whatever. Oh my gosh, Jinx is really taking a little bit of damage here as the Milio is also taking a bunch of damage. That's an early rough moment for the Jinx and the Milio there, as now we're getting a trade up here in the top lane as Haynat and Daniel Galindo go blade for blow.
Yeah, and you're seeing a little bit of opposite situations there where in the bot lane, Quackers have the early advantage.
Oh,
with
Milio's
the
getting
Nautilus
picked
hook
up
and
here. The heal has to come
Vezina.
out to keep them safe. That is a rough start for the bot lane, but we scale.
Meanwhile, in the top lane, Pot of Greed have the early advantage with Volibear's early game strength. He's scary early game.
Yeah, it sort of deceptively does a boatload of damage.
Yeah.
I'm getting flamed for having big text on the thing, but I imagine you guys can do it.
We see a Mia ping from Quackers over the red buff, so somebody looked at their map, which is always a good sign.
Yeah, I like to make my minimap as small as possible. I don't want to see where people are. Ooh, that's a good stun coming out from It's TiVo.
I did the same thing with mine, but it was for a different reason. It was because I used to click on it a lot by accident, but but I had to get over that
It's a rough
because
one.
making the map larger is good for seeing it.
Yeah, you can actually see it a little bit easier. Oh, the flash for flash coming out in the top lane. We're getting a really scrappy 3 lanes here.
Absolutely. Starting us off right for season 17.
This is such a rough position for Jinx Milio. I mean, the wave is going to come back to them, but like having to like sort of play up without your minions, knowing that the Nautilus is there, it's scary.
Yeah, I think one thing that is really hard for
Oh, look at
any
this
player
gank
to
coming out. The
do-
Syndra Stun coming in. Oh my god, the flash coming in from Skyfalker and the package as well, trying to keep him to safety. Oh, he gets taunted up and he can't get the next auto off. That is first blood over to It's TiVo in the mid lane.
And he's going to be upset about that, but he played it as well as he could, and he almost got it. One more auto.
That was so close to a sneaky little outplay there. What a moment. We'll see how Pot of Greed chooses, or see how the couple of Quackers chooses to respond to that.
He does have a small CS advantage, which he can try to build on to mitigate that death, but definitely big early moment for Syndra there.
Huge, because you were just talking about those splinters and the scaling potential, and getting kills is like one of the fastest ways to build up that splinter count, if I'm correct, right?
Yes, absolutely. I think specifically it's 3 consecutive attack and/or ability hits. Kind of the way Electrocute works will give you splinters. So when you kill someone, you've most likely hit them with 3 attacks/abilities.
Ideally. If you haven't, that's looking rough for you. Or it's looking really, really good for you. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the way it goes, right?
Yeah. Oh my god, another hook coming in onto Prodigy Ace, who still has the flash available to keep them safe, but won't even need to use it as Precipita is taking a lot of damage on the back end here. Big Goose wants to make big rockets hit big hard on this Quackers bot lane. This is scrappy. I am digging this action so far.
Yeah, and that's the danger when you engage on the support, right? You leave the ADC open to fire back, and it's still early game, but Milio's healing is actually going to be a little bit more impactful right now, I think, than later on when damage really starts to scale up. So I think Quackers will be happy to walk away from that with relatively most of their health bars intact.
Thank you for that comment there, B3ARTV _. I can't say that was my proudest call out, but
That's
I've
a good
definitely
one.
had worse ones. Skyfucker in a bit of a dangerous position here. But honestly, so is its T. Like, I feel like the damage could come out for both of them as Kaiser Elite wants to make something happen in the bot lane here. Starts up the spool. Oh my god, as Precipicapita just hooks in and is going to have to flash away. The flash for following coming in for Kaiser Elite. The taunt going down onto Red Quaker. 13-13 as Precipicapita is taking a lot of damage from the Jinx. Jinx picking up a kill, gets excited. The Zigzult coming down as well on top of Kaiser Elite, but the Pot of Greed team is going to be able to get away with their life and a kill onto their other scaling carry.
Yeah, that's excellent work from them. The Get Excited passive allowed Jinx to escape the Ziggs ultimate that was helpfully lobbed down to bot lane, but just a little bit too late.
Camped is now getting blow for blow here. Kaiser Elite trying to make something happen with its Tivo. Camped going back in, and the ultimate coming down from the Wukong as Skyfucker trying to make something happen, but Captain Camped goes down in the end. But the Rammus ult following out there, the junglers really trying to make an impact in this game, but Kaiser Elite picks up a double kill on the Rammus. That's going to be one tanky armadillo.
Yeah, 100% kill participation for him right now. He's doing exactly what they need him to do. And that's a dream situation if you're Syndra. That taunt sets up the easiest QE of her life right there.
Absolutely. There's a lot of really nice sort of CC so that the jungler can follow up, or that the jungler can set up the laner. The Syndra QE, the Volibear stun. Jinx traps,
Yeah,
Jinx
absolutely.
laser, zap rather. Both having really strong impacts to try to set up ganks. Skyfucker taking a lot of pain here. Tries to make something happen, but oof, goes down to half HP.
Yeah, he's going to have to be careful. Early game, he was able to take advantage of the fact that Syndra needs to walk up and get a little closer to get her abilities off. But, you know, now that she's stronger, him, and you see it right there with 20% of his HP just disappearing.
Yep.
He'll die real quick if he gets too close to her.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're the quackers in this situation, where you're taking a look at this team comp that scales and has now gotten a bit of an early lead, a little over 1,000 gold, what can you do as the quackers in order to try to claw a way back into this game?
Yeah, it's definitely a difficult situation. And this gets to something that I started talking about earlier, which is when you're behind, you feel a little bit of pressure to try to get as much money as you can. So you step up to get that extra minion or stay for that plate. And what that often leads to is you put yourself in a more vulnerable position than you wanted to be in, and you get caught as a result and you die, which compounds the situation, right? So the best thing they can do is try to have a little bit of patience. Maybe you sacrifice a little bit of gold and just try to soak EXP so that you keep up in levels. The worst thing they can do right now is overextend and end up.
The hook comes down onto Big Goose. The Ezra ult follows up after that. Big Goose is in a big problem over here as Red Quaker and Precipicapita are following in, but aren't going to be able to pick up the kill there. Barrier burned out, but that is a scary moment for the Goose.
Yeah, and that's a great amount of pressure applied from Quackers.
Oh my
there.
god, we're getting a 2v2 up here in the top lane as Haynat and Kaiser Elite are taking down Daniel Galindo and a Camped as they get swept back into the tower range here with Haynat going down and Kaiser Elite falling as well. Daniel Galindo picking up a double kill in this brutal 2v2 top lane with a bunch of beefy boys.
And very, very well executed there. That Wukong making such a huge difference. Rammus ults just not enough to keep the pressure off to allow them to escape. So great execution both from bot lane and from top lane as you see another engage here.
Yeah, probably nothing major is going to come out of it. Also, Nebula Lord 123, thank you very much for dropping your Prime subscription over here. Remember, if you have Amazon Prime, you can drop a free Twitch subscription. Low budget LCS, great place to do that. You want to know why? Because you get to be the latest investor. You get to come to the Denny's in Vermont for the board meetings. And if you go around back and talk to Todd, the assistant manager, pancakes are on us.
That's a great deal.
It's a great deal.
I already used my Prime this month, or I'd be dropping it right now.
Listen. What more can I say? I've made the pitch. I mean,
Hey, I know where my next prime is going.
listen, that's a good investment if I've ever heard one. This is not financial advice, as Heyna and Daniel Galindo are having a little bit of fun here. Daniel Galindo won't be able to get the or maybe he'll get the mega. Oh my god, that heal coming out from the volley bear, as Heyna is taking a beating from the boomerangs here from Daniel Galindo. A lot of B's, a lot of buh going on in this game.
Yeah, and a lot of blasting and banging going on as well. A couple more bees.
Blasting, banging, bombing. All of the different buzz. Got a lot of B words here. RPF 6000, free pancakes indeed. You just have to, well, you just have to be with the latest investor, or you don't have to be the latest. Just an investor. Just be an investor in the LBLCS. Pancakes are on us.
I just want to call out as we see Jinx taking a plate there. I'm really impressed by the restraint that Quackers bot lane was able to show, and that engage that we saw before. They knew exactly how far they could push it without putting themselves in a vulnerable position. Got some good trades in, asserted their power in the lane.
And now they're trying to make it happen again. Put a little bit more hurt down into Prodigy Ace. This isn't going to turn into anything wild, but these two bot lanes have not stopped attacking each other as Precipitatiosity tries to go in again with that Nautilus hook, as Wisdom drops their subscription so that they can be the latest investor in the low-budget LCS. Let's see here. You've subscribed for a little bit now. Let's see here. 4 months of investment in the LBLCS. That's 4 months of free pancakes at the board meetings. As Haynat flashes forward, Kaiser Elite trying to come in here. Daniel Galindo and Camped trying to make something happen, as Haynat ends up going down immediately. Kaiser Elite is soon to follow, as this is chaos in the top lane again for the Pot of Greed. Couple of Quackers have found a couple of kills a couple of times and are clawing their way back into this game through the top lane.
Yeah, and that Gnar is very big now. That's, if you're a volley bear in that situation, seeing Wukong showing up right after you flash forward is probably your worst nightmare. There's not a whole lot you can do, unfortunately. Once you've burned that tool when he ults on top of you, the Ziggs ult coming in ended up being a little unnecessary in the end.
It was style points.
Yeah, it did look cool. I'll give you that. Haynat's gonna need to just play safe at this point. What I was talking about earlier. You know what I noticed? He's got about 4 more CS than the last time I looked, and Nar's got 20 more. So
yeah, that's not a
he's
good
definitely
not a good trend line.
Yeah, he's probably in that situation where he's feeling a little bit of that pressure to try to catch up, but that's the moments when you need to, you know, keep your mental in check and not allow yourself to greed.
Yeah, because you were saying before when we were talking about what the Quackers could do to claw their way back into this game, which, speaking of, they now have a gold lead for themselves to the tune of about 500 or 600, which is not much, but it's only 14 minutes. Kaiser Elite wants to try to make something happen on a Camped here, who may be out of his depth, gets taunted up, gets stunned up. Prodigy Ace coming in. Big Goose trying to come in and get the kill as well. They give the kill over to the Jinx, who gets excited. Skyfalker now finding himself in a little bit of trouble. Has to flash over the wall. The Ram is trying to follow with the Beyblade. Will the taunt come out? It will, and the zap connects. Big Goose tries to pick up another kill, but Kaiser Elite says, no, 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 I want one.
Yeah, and this is exactly how Pot of Greed stays in this game, by the way, because if you look at the individual breakdown, that gold lead they had, which is now back to a small deficit, was almost entirely because of top lane. Their mid lane behind in gold, their jungle
Oh my
tied.
god, Big Goose was on the forefront in the past, but is now finding themselves on the back end of a beating here, as Red Quaker flashing over the wall to pick up the kill.
Great flash.
That's gonna be a huge kill coming over to the side of the Quackers, as I will try to adjust my minimap so that it fits.
And Red Quaker is saying, I don't want to hear about the gold diff, because I'm going to get some right now.
Interface? All right, nothing crazy is happening. I just have to turn away. The blue buff goes over to the blue side. Can't be that bad. All right, let's see here. Where's the minimap? Where's the minimap? Oh, spectator minimap scale. Smaller, smaller, smaller. We'll see. Did that work? Is that good? Nope, not quite. All right, there's a little bit of delay. We'll put it down to 9. We'll call it there. Surely
So
9 will
anyway,
work.
my point there was that Gnar was not at that fight that we saw in the Quackers jungle, which was
Mhm.
what allowed Pot Agreed to win it.
Yeah, and that, I mean, that's so crucial, right? Because right now, the Gnar is so much of the team's gold, right? About 7,000 gold, right? So if you
Yep.
take away the gold lead in the top lane, Quackers are down quite a substantial amount, even if the gold at present looks pretty equal, as its TiVo is finding himself in a challenging situation again. The Super Mega Bomb, no, what is it called? Mega Inferno Bomb, Super Mega Death Rocket. The Mega Inferno Bomb comes in with the style points once again, as its TiVo falls.
Yeah, and that's going to tighten up mid lane a little bit. Jungle's pretty even. After Ezreal got that kill, bot is pretty even. So, and you can see Quackers took the gold lead again. So they're balancing it out everywhere else, and they still have that big lead top lane.
Yeah, and that, I mean, that's so crucial, right? Like for team morale, right? As the top laner, you're able to say, guys, don't worry. This game will be over in 15. I'll type GG top gap, right? Like I've got, let me carry, let me carry. I can do this. So that's a really big moment there for the Quackers. Crucial for morale. And then picking up the kill on the Jinx as well for the Ezreal in that straight up 2v2. The Quackers are feeling themselves.
Yeah, and it's another impressive moment from their bot lane because they were fighting at a disadvantage there, but showing once again they know exactly what they're doing piloting these champions. They know what the limits are and where they can push it. Ended up getting a nice kill there with the flash over the wall.
Mm-hmm. So we're seeing the action come to fruition. We've got a slight gold lead in favor of the Quackers. If you had to make a prediction at this point, what are the next 10 minutes going to contain for this game? What are we expecting to see around objectives? Who are we expecting to see happen? How many team fights should we expect? Over, under on the kills? Whatever your analysis says.
Sure. So we see Wukong currently holding the Rift Herald, so I'm guessing my favorite thing to do with that personally is always crack mid, which is currently sitting at a point where I think Rift Herald would take that down in one hit, and then you could crash it potentially to second tier as well and get some good money. Unleash Teleport is online for both top laners. The key that I think will be really interesting, because we have Baron coming up in a minute and Dragon coming up in 2 minutes, is are we going to see the top laners side lane effectively to where they can teleport and flank for and engage during a team fight? That's going to have a huge impact whether one or both of them are there or not there, especially because of the discrepancy in gold between them.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty big as the camp tries to go in here, but its TiVo, the Scout of the Week, is able to evade that gank handily. Oh my god, those Zig bombs are coming through, but Kaiser Elite flashes forward onto Skywalker, says, you touch my Jinx, I touch you. Precipitosity gets zapped in the back, but will be left alive. Camped will be there to swallow the mid lane.
That is great news for Pot Agreed because they're currently down 0-2 on Dragons, which means I'm guessing they almost
oh my
absolutely
gosh,
wanna
Daniel
fight this
Galindo
next
hops
dragon.
in, gets taunted up, is going to start to chuck those boomerangs around as Big Goose finds themselves in a big problem with Flash coming up in just a few seconds, but just a few seconds too late as the boomerang from Daniel Galindo tags down Prodigy Ace. They pick up 2 more kills.
And that was some really solid coordination for them to be going that deep in the enemy jungle while tier 1 turrets are still up.
Yeah, Daniel Galindo hopping in saying, team, don't worry, follow me. This is winnable. This fight is winning. And hello from the LBLCS to the CMSA Esports President Mew. Mew? Mayu? Mew?
Yeah, Mew, I think, yeah.
Mew.
And I
like Mew.
do expect we'll see Rift Herald dropped in the next 15 to 30 seconds as Dragon is about to come up. It's the perfect distraction that Pot Agreed will have to deal with if they don't want to lose pretty much their entire mid. and that'll put Quackers on soul point.
Oh my God, Rev resparked. Hashtag Rev up. Oh, if you were there, that's LBLCS veteran status right there. That was an exciting series. There's a big message to never give up as Rev resparked as the 16th seed going into the playoff bracket, took down the first seed in the first round of playoffs. It was very exciting. So never worry about being 16th seed. You can always get in. Daniel Galindo trying to make something happen here isn't going to be able to pick up the dragon, as the excitement from the Jinx is going to put Daniel Galindo in a little bit of a position as Kaiser Elite tries to jump in, but Daniel Galindo says, I can jump as well, but gets taunted up. Haynak coming in with the stun, Big Goose coming in with the rockets. Daniel Galindo finds himself in a really difficult position, and the shutdown goes over to the Bear.
And that's exactly who they wanted to give it to get him back in the game. They knew exactly what Quackers wanted to do with that Rift Herald, and they said, we're going to get to Dragon first. We won't let you distract us. Now, they did lose most of their mid lane, but Quackers are not on soul point, and they got a shutdown.
Absolutely. And, you know, what's interesting about that is that we see this Dragon go over, and we see the shutdown coming over. A couple of Quackers, I think, extended their gold lead in that process with picking up those towers, those objectives, and the waves.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. You just try to get as much value as you can, knowing that either way, enemy team's going to be getting something they want.
Yeah, it's gonna be a real excitement. We've got 8 kills on one side, we've got 8 kills on the other side. We've got scaling matchups on one side, we've got some scaling matchups on the other side. This is shaping up to be quite the inaugural match in the low budget LCS.
If we look down at the items that our players have built out, we see a triune of Trinity Force on the Quackers side. 3 very good users of that item.
That is I love that triune. That was a fantastic vocabulary choice. I got flamed for using the word egalitarian last night.
Oh man.
I know.
That was very bougie of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, I was being a little bit bougie as well, so well, you know what? Low budget, high budget, low budget LCS, high budget vocabulary. I'll put it that way.
Exactly.
You put that on a t-shirt.
Now, you know what else I noticed is that Skyfalker is now sitting on a death cap. So he would have no time in trying to reach his power scaling budget. Every item he gets
what do you think about this Baron start?
Honestly, it's a little bit questionable to me. But, so now, Pedigree is aware of it, but they're not moving on it quickly, so it's possible.
I think they only just became aware. I think Prodigy Ace only just found out. The Jinx Rocket comes in. Prodigy Ace finds themselves a little overextended as a couple of Quackers are going to try to make this happen. Kaiser Elite trying to go in. Camp's trying to make something happen on the Big Goose. Big Goose finding themselves on the receiving end of a bomb. Camp taking down It's TiVo. This is looking very messy for Pot of Greed, as a couple of Quackers gets 2 kills for free after trying to force on the Baron, and they're going back for seconds.
Now, I would argue, actually, that their intent was always to peel away from that initial Baron engage, specifically to look for that team fight. We saw pings on the map from Pot of Greed suggesting they were aware something was going on, but there wasn't a lot of cohesion to them rallying around it, and it gave Quackers the perfect opportunity to counter-engage, and now the Baron is theirs.
And you know, when you're Milio and your team just isn't with you and you're trying to get some vision, that's a scary moment.
Yeah.
That's a scary moment.
Absolutely.
You think I die a lot on engage tanks? I die a lot on enchanters, and it's really all because of vision. That said, my vision score go crazy, so it don't matter.
Hey, I love that. My least favorite thing is a support that is not putting their wards down.
I put my wards down. I just sort of also put my life down as well. It's a problem. But
vision is important, man. Sometimes you gotta lay your life on the line.
Listen, I always say, like, my team isn't gonna win. Like, if I have the most kills on my team, then, or the most deaths on my team, then that's a win. Every win my team has, I have the most deaths. The thing is that every loss my team has, I also have the most deaths. So I don't think this is actually a very good metric.
Well, it shows that you're consistent at the very least.
I love the way you think. That was so positive. As a camp is trying to find It's TiVo again, the scout of the week coming out. They're going to beat up the clone, which is a little mean to the clone, but he'll disappear into a cloud of smoke.
and it will be interesting. Dragon's up in 30 seconds, and Quackers looks like they're positioned pretty well for it. Both top laners are pretty far away. Volibear's walking. I wonder if Gnar might teleport.
Yeah, Volibear's walking, which might catching the mid wave though. So we'll see if Volibear chooses to respond. He will choose to respond to Daniel Galindo.
Yeah, and I think that is a necessary response. They would probably lose top inhib if he doesn't go back over there.
RPF 6000. See, I am being supported in this moment as Haynat is trying to put some hurt down onto Daniel Galindo. The heal coming out is big, and the flash forward from Haynat. Daniel Galindo finds themselves in a challenging situation, but directed camera says, let's take a look at a poke battle, actually.
Well, nothing ended up coming out of it. That was more what
Oh my god,
I think
Kaiser Elite
Haynat-
flashing forwards into the backline of the Quackers. Skyfalker taking down a gigantic bomb with its TiVo. Acamped is finding themselves on the back end of these rockets here as Haynat TPs in and dies for their sins. Big Goose able to pick up a kill onto Skyfalker on the backside of that. But that's 4 kills for 1 on the side of the Quackers. They are blowing this game wide open.
What the heck did I just watch? Both top laners teleported in. We got the flash taunt from Rammus, and at the same time, everybody on Quackers, which I think was the appropriate response, unloaded their entire arsenal on everybody else on Pot of Greed because they're the ones that were going to kill them.
Yeah.
Kill them first, you don't die.
Yep, it was really good team fighting from the Quackers there to try to pull something out. They're being rewarded with a mid turret and a dragon and a bot turret for their efforts. The gold lead is starting to expand. It's getting up close to 10,000 gold for the Quackers as they try to make this siege count.
Yeah, now it's a situation that is not unrecoverable for Pot of Greed, but it is a difficult situation to recover from. It's amazing that they were actually able to save that inhibitor. It's going to save them from a lot of pressure over the next 2 to 4 minutes as objectives come back up. But this is a situation where you really can't push too far out onto the map now that you've lost all of your lane turrets outside of 2 inhibs. It's going to make it difficult for them.
And if I'm reading my minimap correctly, there's 1 plate on that top lane inhibitor tower, so that is really not much of a tower left at all.
Yes, that's correct. Just 1 plate left remaining there. Baron buff probably not going to last that much longer, but
I think
Quackers are going to be happy with what they got out of it.
Or does it run out
Let's see.
when Baron's 3 minutes to respawn? I don't know.
You know, I don't know that. I usually just click on the player to see if the buff is gone, and I don't see it anymore, so I agree with you.
Alrighty. That's another expert analysis brought to you by the low budget LCS. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for more of that shit.
High budget vocabulary, not necessarily high budget analysis.
Mid tier budget analysis, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a nice, comfortably specced out Honda Civic.
Low budget LCS. The Honda Civic of analysis. But not a current model. Like a
It's not
2012.
flashy, but it's reliable and it'll get you where you need to go.
You want to get from point A to point B? 2012 Honda Civic.
Oh yeah.
The Quackers are going to need to try to make something happen here because they're in the position to dictate the pace of the game. So if you're the Quackers, what are you trying to set up in order to close this game out and put yourselves up 1 in this series?
So if I'm Quackers, my full attention is on positioning us for the next dragon fight in 2 minutes. Getting that Chemtech Soul is just going to make it that much harder for Pot of Greed to play into in team fights. You've got Red Quaker, who, I don't want to jinx him, has not seen his gray screen yet this game, who's very strong now. I think he's probably actually getting to the point where his strength falls off a little bit in comparison to some of the hyperscalers, but still strong enough to lay down a lot of damage in team fights. And with the engage from Gnar and Wukong and Nautilus as well, Ziggs backing him up, they're still very, very dangerous. The most important thing, the thing that kills teams in situations like this is in the minute before Dragon, don't get picked, don't die, because that's how you lose the lead.
And the Quackers are moving in as 5 into this barren side of the river. They're clearing out the vision, putting the pressure on Pot of Greed to respond to a potential Baron call.
And
This
I do
is
like
looking
that
to be
decision.
the ending team fight here. Will probably shape up this way.
If they
Start the
were to
Baron.
leave this Baron on the table for Dragon, then it could be a situation where you trade Dragon for Baron. So I do like the decision to just take it off the field before that even becomes a possibility.
Kaiser Elite is looking for it and jumps in and finds 3. A big taunt coming in, but a big wombo combo coming into the backside of a Pot of Greed as Daniel Galindo tries to make something happen. Red Quakers finding themselves in a difficult situation, but gets away with a slim of the health bar. It's Tivo finding themselves in a really difficult 1 versus 5 scenario. Quackers take a 5-0 off of that Baron call, and they look to end through the mid lane to win the first streamed game in the low budget LCS.
And you see Daniel Galindo teleporting just to expedite that process a little bit. But it was very similar to what we saw the fight around Dragon Pit earlier, where, you know, a pretty nice full send from Kaiser Elite, but anticipating what he was going to do, Quackers sent all of their DPS to the back line ahead of that, and were able to outpace the rest of Kaiser Elite's team to catch up to that engage. And as a result, they win the team fight, and now they win the game.
Quackers put themselves in a great position. They put themselves at series point here, and you did not jinx Red Quaker, although it was close.
Well, that's just a testament to his skill, I think.
I would be inclined to agree.
Are you also stuck on skip waiting for stats, or is this
I
just
am indeed stuck on skip waiting for stats, and I was hoping that we could, you know, stats, or at least a little bit of it. But we'll have to
At
see.
the very least, I don't want to click it because it means you get kicked from the game, which I don't agree with.
Is that what that means?
Yeah, anytime you click this button, if you whether you're in a custom game or if you're in a party, you click this button, you're removed from that. Which I don't
Yeah.
know who decided it should work that way. That's
Well,
wrong.
luckily for us, it's different tournament codes. So if we get removed,
Oh.
removed already, I'm clicking that thing. I don't like a loading screen. I'm impatient.
Hmm.
I don't do well with being patient.
Understandable.
Oh, gotta choose the outcome. It was the Quackers. Complete
Those
prediction.
large bets paying off, I guess.
Large bet's paying off. I mean, the odds are really good for betting on a Pot of Greed here, but now they find themselves trying to punch back.
So I put the onus on Quackers before the game to show that they could execute that comp, and they did it perfectly. I'm impressed.
Yeah, it was, and it wasn't easy for them, right? Like they fell behind early, and they found themselves in the position of having to come back against a team that, on paper, outscales them.
Correct. And that's a testament to the mental toughness that is required when you're in that kind of position of just knowing, hey guys, this is still a good strategy. We can still pull this off. We just need a couple of good moments to swing things back in our direction. So kudos to them.
Absolutely. Let me get you invited on in here. They will not be switching sides. God bless. Let's see here. So I need the 01 overlay. Boom. Oh shit. Why is it different? What the wick? Did I screw up this? No. All right. All right. All right, let's see here. Draft 2. We can click on the tab for Draft 2 on our lovely... Well, I should probably actually just switch over to the draft phase thing. There we go. Boom, boom. We can click over to the Draft 2 on our lovely bespoke low-budget LCS drafting site. Built for
Talking
us
about
by our
vocabulary,
very
that's
dev
a
team.
great word. Bespoke. I love it.
Bespoke, isn't it great?
Oh yeah.
You know, if you make something bespoke, you can charge like 3 or 4 times as much. If you just put the
I
word
was
bespoke on it.
I was just thinking it makes it sound like a high quality crafter on Etsy that we can, you know, whatever we're making, we can sell it for an exorbitant price.
Absolutely. And I love selling things for an exorbitant price. I don't have any sound on this. Is that on me? And a real feel, I'm so glad that you asked that. Is this my fault? It's probably my fault. Where I don't even have the option to increase Microsoft Edge's volume. Let's ignore the fact that I'm using Microsoft Edge unironically. Yes,
I do
a
it for
real
work,
feel.
so
Yeah, I mean,
mostly I'm just trying to bite back all of my terrible opinions about Microsoft right now.
no sponsorships here. A little bit else, yeah. Sponsored by Microsoft Edge. A real
Oh, that's
feel.
good.
The streamed game VODs do get posted. We have a YouTube channel. You do not have to pay $50 per minute watched. You can go watch it all for free. This and all of the low budget LCS streams end up getting uploaded, except the ones that don't. But we don't talk about those. I can't for the life of me figure out why I can't increase the volume of this thing.
Can you go to the sound mixer in
Yeah.
Windows options?
I don't
Or is
even
that where
see
you are?
Microsoft Edge isn't even available.
That seems like an oversight.
That's what I was gonna say. Where's my? I'm trying to up the edge.
I don't
I
know,
did
man.
the
It's-
gambling
I have
payout, didn't
to.
I?
I think I have to rant for a second here because I'm a software engineer and like I've watched Microsoft basically turn their entire OS coding team over to AI, and now I hear about stuff like this constantly, and it's just
Uh-huh.
depressing.
Can if you're on the does it? You know what would be really funny is if the draft site just didn't even have sound. If we hadn't coded sounds into it, and so it's silent, and I'm trying
Believe
to
it or
figure out.
not, I don't think I've ever heard it make sound before, so you might be
Yeah.
onto something.
Yeah. Because if I, so I'm just gonna put it on like 2%. But if I put it on 2%, does it show up?
Can any
It
staff
does.
members in the chat confirm? Does
What?
it have sound?
The fwick. All right, I don't know how that works. I'm being edged.
Somebody in the chat already made that joke. I hate to break it to you.
Oh, fucking him! Oh my god.
Yeah, it was him, the guy.
Oh, him, the guy won. Fwick. I did do the payout, right, Kiko?
I thought
Somebody
you did.
confirm. Actually, you know what?
You said you were
Kiko,
gonna do it.
I don't know. Kiko's likely to gaslight me. I suppose it's all fair. She's had to clean up the messes I've made on the LBLCS sheets. Okay. The draft is like halfway through, so we should probably talk about that. All right, let's see here. It's same size, so pot of greed still on the left side, on our blue side, and a couple of quackers still on the right side. We've got very different team comps here. Although Jarvan and Wukong are pretty similar. But what are you making of the team comps thus far?
Yeah, there are some picks that I really like from Pot of Greed here. I'm a huge fan of Tom Kench, at least when he's on my team. When he's not, I hate him with a fiery passion. I think Akali, depending on where they flex her, whether it's top or mid, is a lane bully against most matchups and is going to allow them to play from position for strength there. Seraphine, definitely a lot of value from an enchanter, as well as potential for damage, depending on how she builds. Quackers, I think they're sort of trying to go in a similar direction as their last draft, which I don't blame them. It worked for them, but you have a lot of dive potential, both out of Jarvan's ult and just Aatrox's general desire to play towards you with his combos. Mel, maybe it's different in competitive. I just know that her win rate is not good in ranked, so I'm not sure what to think of that.
Yeah, I think Mel just sort of also has like a psychological factor in terms of like that reflect being such a powerful thing. I mean, the reflect into the Seraphine can never ult if Mel reflect is up.
That's true. And so she can just sit on that W for an entire team fight if she wants to. And if, nobody gives her a good reason to use it, all the better, right?
100%. The greatest tool is the one you never need to use. Nope, that's not the quote. What's the quote about having to, it's like not using something is sometimes more powerful than using it.
That's close enough, I think.
I'll take that.
You
The
got the
greatest
message
tool.
across.
It's the one you never need to use.
I love the Leona pick. Leona, in my opinion, is consistently one of the best
Oh.
engaged tank picks that you can put into bot lane. Usually very strong, has lots of tools. The kind of set it and forget it type of engage where you can just send her in, full send it, gets her combo off, sends her ults. Even if she dies by that point, you've probably won the team fight. And wow, Amumu's actually a really good counter to that because,
Right.
whoever
Speaking
dives
of
on him,
crowd control.
you can just lock them down for 4 seconds.
Yeah, Amumu. I was a big fan when Amumu had found his way into the support meta. I still pick Amumu support from time to time. It's not much to the dismay of my teammates, but I usually don't pick for them. I pick for me.
I agree on all accounts, especially
Thank
the
you.
dismay of my teammates, because I think my last Amumu support game I went like 0-15.
I think I've successfully ran down every single admin of the LBLCS at this point.
Hey, we gotta have goals, right?
It's a miracle they still keep me around. I was quoting Iron Man? All right, that's sick as hell. I'll take. Well, depends who I was quoting and what I was quoting them about, I guess. Silas R5. There are a lot of good ults for Silas to steal here.
Yes, absolutely. I will say, with the Amuma and Kaisa coming in the second round of picks, I'm a little bit disappointed because I was hoping for Seraphine mid Tahm Kench support. I honestly think he's a better support than a top laner, but he still gives a ton of flexibility to the team. For some reason, has health and AP scalings. I don't understand it, but I love it when it's on my team, and I hate it when it's against me. So look for him to be really strong late in the game. Overall, I think it's going to be a harder task for Quackers this game. They still have a lot of dive tools, but I like Pot of Greed's response to that draft. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of really interesting things happening here. I think this is just draft alone shaping up to be an exciting match.
Yeah, absolutely. I've never seen this before, but I'm wondering now, what does it look like when Silas steals Tahm Kench ult and swallows somebody? Does his body stretch out?
I'm certain there's fan art of that.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Unfortunately, somebody in the chat right now, that's my fetish. I know
you
there's
know
one of
what?
you.
There's something for everybody, and there's everybody for something.
Too true, too true.
We do not need to bring. Well, maybe there's like more than that. Also, that's a great sleep token song. I don't know why you're hating him, the guy. Okay, let's see here. So we've got game two. Game two, when you're up 1-0 and you have a Giga R5 pick, feels really good. Game two, when you're down 0-1 and your opponent has a Giga R5 pick, doesn't feel as good. So what can Pot of Greed sort of either team mentality wise or like gameplay wise try to do in the first few, like in the first, I don't know, let's say 10, 15 minutes of this game to set themselves up for success?
Yeah, I think if that R5 pick is what you're worried about, then you try to snowball their lane opponent. So I'd be looking for ganks for Kali, maybe a roam from top lane or from more likely from Seraphine to double gank with the jungler and just try to get a Kali to the point where even if Silas steals a good ult, she can just delete him before he does anything too serious.
Yeah, it's gonna be an exciting little match here. I like Kiko's point. You imagine being Seraphine, you ult, gets reflected by Mel, you get hit by your own ulti.
I didn't
and
see
as
that
soon as
message
you're
before.
done being charmed, you get hit by yet another Seraphine ulti from the Silas.
I would close the game. I would just
Yep. At
exit game.
that point, you know what? Just wrap it up. Just wrap it up.
You'd be charmed for long enough that you'd have enough time to exit and then reopen, and you'd probably still be charmed.
Start scrolling Twitter. Say, fuck it. Yeah, y'all got this.
Especially when you consider there's a gray screen in your future if you've just gotten charmed twice in a row.
Absolutely. It's looking like a Seraphine support here with the
Yes.
Akali in the mid lane. So we got TK top and a Mumu jungle. Kaisa was never concerned about where she was gonna go.
Coward, may you die with your eyes closed.
Yeah, Kaisa, another hyperscaling ADC who's very strong late game. And I'm just now realizing, by the way, that that's a Mel bot. So, Kaisa, you can kiss your long range W's goodbye. But she will be a menace late game. The key is Pot of Greed needs to get there. I think this is another we want to win quickly from a couple of quackers.
A couple of quackers are saying that they would like to put themselves at a solid, confident 2-0 in this series. So Mel Leona. Yeah, that is not a bot lane I want to play against.
It sounds like pure misery, honestly.
It sounds terrible.
If I'm Seraphine, I'm saying, hey, play safe under turret. I'll be back.
Yeah, and Kaisa being like a relatively low range ADC as well means that she has to actually like step up into like Zenith Blade, whatever Mel's snare is called, territory. She's gonna get poked out by the Mel. I think it's a Q. The like
Yeah.
yeah, because her W is the reflect. Isn't it kind of interesting how like there's like a general theme to Qs and a general theme to Ws and a general theme to Es?
Yeah, I've noticed that. I know exactly what you're talking about. They
You
have
know?
like design philosophies around what key should do what thing when they're
Yeah, it's
designing
fascinating.
champions.
Like if you were like, here's a hypothetical champion with, and these are their 3 basic abilities, what keys do they go on? I bet most League players could just off like intuition get it 95% accurate, or accurate 95% of the time. An
I
instant
agree.
replay
And
in the Mel Q impression, yeah, it's the one that goes, and then it makes you sad.
I'm looking for quackers to set up a freeze anywhere outside the range of Pot of Greed's turret bot lane, and that's gonna make bot laner very, very unhappy for Pot of Greed.
And you know what? That happens from time to time. As we, the spectator delay has clicked down to 0, and my game is not launched.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't see a timer. I don't see anything at all.
Splendifer.
Oh,
Oh, the
you just
spectator delay
traveled 20
hadn't
seconds
clicked
into the
down.
future.
Okay. Yeah. I thought that was fast. I was like, wow, that was really fast. We're heading into game already. We're not. 2 minutes 30 on the clock.
Indeed.
Anyway, so there's like a general like E's are like, well, they're E's. Q's like usually like there's like a long
I feel like E's are
rangedness.
usually like mobility centric.
Yeah. Like Ezreal E, Kaisa E, Akali E,
Yep.
Aatrox E,
Aatrox.
Silas E. Like
QE for Jarvan is mobility. E for Leona is when she throws her sword, right? So.
yes. And she be moving when she throws her sword.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes I like to play Leona, and it's not because I'm good at it, because I'm not. Let's be really clear about that. But it's because I like to just go.
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast. And the Radiant Volley, I assume that's the Mel Q. It's like a little, you know how it goes. I feel like these people are pulling my leg.
I don't know. I think maybe you just have a knack for sound effects.
I'll take it. I was never very good at figuring out when kids were making fun of me when I was younger. So this is just reenacting that pattern for me.
Q is the main damage ability, so a shorter cooldown, medium range. W is increases damage, prevents damage, so long range. Skill shot. E is speed up or dash from Kiko. Yeah, I would. The only thing I would add is if E is not speed up or dash, it would be the inverse. I think some kind of way to limit enemy mobility.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mel has her stun on
Mm-hmm.
her E, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Joey, you keep talking like that. I think your son need a stepdaddy. Just saying.
Real skills
I'm not the stepdad. I'm the dad that stepped up. How do these
Exactly.
rosters stack up? I think they stack up. There's about 10 players, so probably let's see average height. 5'8". Whatever it is, it's less. It's shorter than I am. So whatever tall I am, which you can imagine however tall I am in your head, it's shorter than that. So it's like a little under 10 Jackie boys tall. That's about how they stack up.
Love that analysis.
Thank you. Thank you.
We don't talk enough about the physique of league players, I think.
I is that what we don't talk enough about?
So here's the thing. LCK players all have to serve in the military, so I think as a general rule, the LCK could whoop the LCS's ass in a fist
Yeah, that's
fight.
probably true. Let's see here. Oh shit, that's too. That's good. I'll take that. That's a good length. Okay, we're in. We're casting game 2. You can check the score at any time during an LBLCS match by looking at the bottles of coriander. That's the bespoke. Oh my god, I used that word again. Low budget LCS beer. It's our beer brand, Coriander. Coriander Light, I think, is coming out soon, or maybe it was already out. Not sure. Haven't been. Oh my god, Precipitosity is really receiving a beatdown. That's a classic Leona moment right there. You Ian. Oh, here's my litmus test for Leona. Do they take Ignite or Exhaust? If they take Exhaust, I don't expect. But if they take Ignite, I think they're gonna do really. It's better.
Your comment there made me realize that my personal spectator was a little bit behind real time.
Oh,
so
I'm at 155, 6, 7, 8.
I am actually ahead of you now. I'm at 210.
You're at 210. Okay, let me catch up. All right, I assume. Oh my god, it's Tivo coming in. Oh my god, I zoomed in and Skyfalker goes in with the abscond, abduct, a captain, a camped, picks up first blood. Quackers really trying to make a statement happen as Haynad is also taking a beating from this Aatrox in the top lane. I'm at 232, 3, 4.
And that
5.
gank was repayment for the electrocute that Akali called down when he went toward Raptors. I don't know if you caught that. She did like half his health bar and damage, so he said, I got one for you coming up.
I can appreciate that. You got to stand on business there. Dana Galindo.
Absolutely.
And speaking of standing on business, you see, he stepped in front of the minion, so Tom Kench could not Q it to take it. He's like, yeah, my health. I'll sacrifice that just for the mental edge.
So valuable. Anytime you're against a melee champion, they need to walk up to hit those minions. So you see that animation? They're heading toward the minion. That's your opportunity to do something. Whatever you can do, that's your chance, because they have to walk toward it.
Yeah, whatever you're gonna do in that moment, that's when you do it.
Yes. I've actually taken to walking in really weird directions before ICS on melee champions, specifically to throw people off.
I've taken to walking in really weird directions. It's not strategic.
Just in general.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good dodge on the follow-up Q there.
Yeah. Top CS gap and bot CS gap are equaling each other out.
Yeah, that is, they're both thumping in different ways. Mel's gonna have an easier time catching up though. As she scales up, she'll just start deleting whole waves.
Inversely proportional. Thank you, Frog Guy. Hashtag FGGY.
We got high budget vocabulary from the chatters as well.
I know. That's fantastic. I love that. It's like mathematically accurate Twitch chat.
Indeed.
Oh, you had your first coriander. How was it? Delicious, I assume. You can't say anything else. It's against your contract. Oh my god, Skyfalker taking a world of pain from It's TiVo. The Ignite coming down, the Abscond abduct. Skyfalker find themselves going back in. It's TiVo walking away with a little bit of burn down on the Silas.
They were trying to set up a gank there with Captain Accounts, but just enough space created by It's TiVo to make them decide to call it off.
Yeah, I mean, Camp showing up at the right time as Precipitosity goes in here onto Big Goose. Big Goose taking about half their health bar.
Yeah, and that is what you want to do against this lane, right? You look at the items, you see Kaisa with 2 long swords and a dagger already, and just her starter item. Meanwhile, just a tear for Seraphine. So you take her out of the fight, and you're not going to take a lot of damage until she's back at it.
Mm-hmm. It's exactly the right kind of call there. It's trying to survive in this lane. A little bit of lime with it. A little lime, guys. Lime, you have to lime. I don't know if y'all have been lime maxing, but that flavor profile is fantastic.
Bammies instead of Faded Ashes on a Mumu. I don't play a lot of Mumu anymore, but I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Sunfire is still like a priority rush for him.
I can see an argument for the Faded Ashes. I can, and like maybe like a Leandri's option. I can see the argument there, but there is already so much AP on his team that opponents are likely to build some magic resist. I expect to see some Merc Treads come out, or just some items with MR. That was an ambitious Zenith Blade. Oh my god, It's TiVo going back in onto Skyfalker, putting down a ton of damage as Haynat, with 3 ruby crystals to his name, jumps on in.
Yeah, and that Electrocute Akali is really dangerous early, even for somebody like Silas that has a lot of healing. So Skyfalker's going to have to be careful that he doesn't give up an early return kill to her.
Ooh, Precipitosity finds the Zenith Blade onto Prodigy Ace, but is taking a lot of damage. The Seraphine ult, whose name I can't remember, comes out. Big Goose taking a ton of damage over there, and the Mumu ult is happening here. It's TiVo taking out a kill down onto Skyfalker with a flash, and ult. Camp is picking up a return kill on that one. Oh my god, I don't even know how to talk anymore. Keeps flashing back and forth, and now we're here in the top lane between Daniel Galindo and Haynat. Haynat wants... oh my god, put him in his belly and is going to spit him out over here. Haynat wants revenge for last series, is going to find the stun over there. Daniel Galindo is going to have to try to find something, is going to flash away to safety. Haynat still has flash available, so we'll have to see what happens. But Haynat finding a really favorable trade, despite the fact that Daniel Galindo took a second combat spell in the Ignite instead of the Teleport.
So much action going on across the map in the last couple of minutes. All the laners getting access to their level 6s. Ults coming out. I was actually amazed that Directed Camera managed to catch that Akali flash ult, because it happened so fast and it immediately snapped back to bot lane. But wow, just so many abilities, so many summoner spells used. Still flash and teleport available for Haynat. It's TiVo did not use Ignite. Didn't have a chance to kill Jarvan, it looked like. But it's going to be, I think, a couple minutes before we see another major play with all of those abilities being on cooldown right now.
Absolutely. We're in a little bit of a trough in the action as the CDs start to tick down. We haven't yet seen a dragon taken, so either team, but we did see the grubs. Loot side, Pot of Greed was able to pick up the grubs.
It's a perfect mirror of my solo queue games, honestly. But the way I look at it is like this. Grubs give you value the entire game. A dragon is just one dragon.
doesn't the dragon also give you valor the entire game?
You can argue, yes, that it does, but I would say that the grubs give you more value than a single dragon across the length of the game, depending on what the dragon is.
Okay. All right. You know what?
This is a Hextech dragon.
I will use that argument when it fits my narrative.
It's perfect. This guy argues. I can tell.
Listen. Oh, Daniel Galindo doing another tongue lash block. Trying to deny cannon over from Haynat. As Precipitosity is going to find the Leona ult onto Prodigy Ace, who won't have an opportunity to react before they are taken down. That's a kill over to Red Quaker 1313. As Dana, the top lane matchup is just brawl v brawl v brawl v brawl.
Yeah, and honestly, Haynat doing a good job with experiencing a pretty severe gold deficit based on the current CS.
Oh my gosh, it's Tivo trying to find something. Is maybe not. Let's see, the ignite ticks down onto Skyfalker, but who will live with a sliver of a health bar? It's Tivo is making a statement here.
Yeah, absolutely. They needed one more auto to really clinch that one, but showing that Carly's damage is nothing to be messed around with, even if you have that powerful self-healing that we know Silas has. Sometimes I just hate looking at his health bar when he's in my games because it'll be empty and then it'll be full again, and that doesn't seem fair to me.
Yeah, champs like that where they have sort of like almost like a drain tank situation, as Prodigy Ace finds themselves in another challenging situation, but Big Goose is the target. A camped drops down the Cataclysm, and Red Quaker 1313 finds their second kill of the game.
Yeah, and that's 2 ults used in bot lane in the last 2 minutes and 2 kills secured, so I think that Quackers may smell blood in this situation.
Yeah, the Quackers, they want this series to go in their favor. Well, I mean, why would they not? But they've got the lead. They said, "You guys, we fell behind early last game and we won. We're getting ahead early this game. We'll have to see what happens."
Yeah, honestly, that's a dangerous strategy because that could mean that they end up losing.
Oh my gosh, having to force the heal out from Prodigy Ace. Prodigy Ace.
I will say though, if you take a look at Red Quacker's items, they bought a Dark Seal before those 2 kills bot lane, and they have 4 stacks now. So, just a perfect start after buying a Dark Seal. Exactly what you want to see if you're Red Quaker. Exactly what you don't want to see if you're Pot of Greed.
Oh my gosh, Big Goose wants the 1v1. Oh my gosh, the Mel Reflect is going to reflect back the Kaisa W, who Big Goose is going to find himself in a challenging situation, is going to fall on the back end of the Mel spell. That's a 3rd kill for Red Quaker in the past, like, I don't know, 5 minutes?
Yeah, and getting first of all, the CS is equal now, whereas Red Quaker was behind before. But getting very big, has the bounty, 2 more stacks on the Dark Seal. And I don't know if W was on cooldown where Red Quaker got charmed by Seraphine in that one bot lane fight. But they've now reflected the Kaisa W, but not the Seraphine ult. And yet it paid off for them with a kill.
I mean, listen, maybe there's something to it. Maybe there's something to it. So next game that you're in, where you're playing Mal and you're versus a Kaisa and a Seraphine, reflect the missile. See what happens. Daniel Galindo auto-attacks and gains a 1/4 of his health bar back as Haynat tries to make something happen, is going to jump away. Times the stun well to remove Daniel Galindo's opportunity to interrupt the Abyssal Voyage.
By a funny coincidence of timing, Haynat completed their top lane quest right after they swallowed Aatrox, so it seemed like that was why they completed it, which I love.
Yeah, that is a really amusing one. The dash to get away from the Abyssal Voyage knockup is going to keep Daniel Galindo safe for now.
Perfect timing because Amumu was there for a gank.
And Akant is trying to make something happen here. It seems like we had some pings go down. Oh my gosh, Big Goose finds themselves on the receiving end of a world of hurt as they see the light of Leona and Mel. And now they see the gray of the death screen.
They're going back for more down there.
Are they really? Oh my gosh, yeah. Directed camera decides that this is a much more interesting situation occurring up here as the tongue lash comes through and tags Daniel Galindo. Kaiser Elite says, Was I? You guys are down here. Now I'm gonna be down here. I'm gonna pick up some CS, some XP. Why not?
I do think what was interesting about that situation is Pot Agreed knew.
Oh my
Like,
gosh,
fully
Daniel
well aware
Galindo
that
is
Jarvan
finding
was
themselves in
there.
a difficult situation, flashing in a straight line away from a straight line skill shot. That's gonna keep you getting hit. The tongue
Hey, Nat gave him a tongue
takes
lashing.
down. A tongue lashing indeed. As Daniel Galindo falls down in a solo kill, despite being up 30 CS. And I mean, it's such a classic top lane situation, right? You go up in game one, you're picking up a couple of double kills. It's going to be a absolute brawl over there, and then in game two, you find themselves getting solo killed. This is a true gentleman's top lane matchup as Precipitosity tries to find Prodigy Ace with the Zenith Blade and just barely misses.
As it should be with the top laners. To finish my thought about what I was saying earlier, Pot Agreed knew Jarvan was there for that bot lane gank, and despite not having the advantage of information, Quackers were still able to turn that into a kill by pressuring Kai'Sa to step up further than she wanted to avoid the back gank.
Yeah, and it's those kinds of moments that really help improve the flow of a game, right? Like, are you going to be able to stay up here? Hainhat is going to continue to find themselves getting beat up by Daniel Galindo. It just goes back and forth in this top lane matchup.
The most top lane thing that could possibly happen now is that Hainat dies in a 1v1 to Aatrox.
The gold lead tracker is my math skills, which is telling me almost 2,000 in favor of the Quackers, as Hainat tries to put a dent into that, is going to spit Daniel Galindo into the tower range, but has to shield up with the second skin. This Aatrox stuff, oh my gosh, is going to go back in,
He's
but
going for
apparently
the
misses because directed camera says, oh, look at bot lane, they're CSing.
Director Camera says, show me the things that are dying, because nothing's happening here.
No deaths to be found in the top lane as the Solar Flare comes down onto Big Goose. The Seraphine ult is not enough to actually stave off the assault from Precipitosity and Red Quaker 1313, who find themselves with a 5th kill in the bot lane as the mid laners go toe for toe.
And that was just a pixel perfect bullseye on the Leona ult on top of Kai'Sa there. Prodigy's doing their best to try to damage
Kaiser
control the
Elite
situation
wants to
with
try
it.
to make something happen on the back end here as Prodigy H tries to put this hurt down with the spells. Red Quaker's going to find themselves dropping to the weeping tears of Kaiser Elite, who might not be weeping so much more after this. Precipitosity has flash available but does not use it, and that's a double kill over to the big beefy boy on the side of the Pot of Greed, Kaiser Elite.
So great counter strategizing from Pot of Greed there. They weren't willing to accept another death bot lane without getting something back in return. Perfect gank from Kaiser Elite. Really nice follow-up from its Tivo. I think the only thing they would change if they could is that second kill would go on their mid laner instead of the jungler. But Amumu is back to almost even with Jarvan in gold now. So overall, I think a pretty good result they'll be very happy with.
Yep, and it's sort of what you need, right? Like, you've been getting killed a bunch. It's starting to feel like, okay, we got to find a way back into this game. Kaiser Elite finds a great gank timing as Hainat and Daniel Galindo go blow for blow again. I feel like we've seen Daniel Galindo in
Great gank
Hainat's belly
timings.
so much, but a camp says, hey, that 1v1 you were having, let's make it a 2v1. Tries to put the Cataclysm down as Hainat decides to use the Abyssal Voice to try to get a knock up here. Keeps living as long as possible with the healing from the Tongue Lash, but eventually falls down. That's going to be a top laner down and a Herald included as well, as a camped starts stampeding that Herald into the top lane T1 tower, which is sure to fall after the sentence.
Hainat was already 1,000 gold down, and that's just going to blow this lane wide open. It's going to be hard for him to go very far from his turret until laning phase ends.
Camp's deciding to take the Herald Express over there, but Shelly gets dropped to the Kunai strike from Akali. It's really interesting which ability names I know and don't know. I can't tell you how much Leona I've played. I've played 0 Akali, but I know it's Kunai Strike. I know Zenith Blade. I saw Solar Flare. Is Eclipse her W?
Yes, that's the shield.
Ugh, alright.
It's funny because I main Yone and I'm not sure I could name a single one of his abilities by its actually name.
Yeah. That's it's one of those funky things about
I
playing
don't
League.
need to know the names. I poke them with the sword and they die. That's all that matters.
Right. I put the sword on them and they go down. What else do I need to know? Little over a minute on this Drake timer as Precipitosity decides to go in. The Solar Flare coming down. Oh my gosh, Big Goose has no opportunity to make anything happen. Prodigy Ace is going to have to kite their way to safety. It's looking really challenging for the Pot of Greed bot lane to try to make anything happen versus the indomitable Mel Leona bot lane here.
I honestly am surprised they're not further behind.
Kaiser
I've seen
Elite
other good
decides that,
counter
hey, you know what? It worked last time. Let me see if I can make it work again, and is going to weep all over Red Quaker 1313, who will eventually be taken down by Prodigy Ace's spells.
Now, I think I may be wrong, but I don't think I saw a reflect from Mel on that Seraphine ult, and I think the reason was because they knew they could kill Kaisa without it.
Yeah, they don't even need to do all of that. A Skyfalker tries to back his jungler up with its Tivo finding themselves in a challenging situation. Precipitosity tries to go in. The flash, the Cataclysm coming down from the Jarvan. Precipitosity on the backline. Skyfalker finding the Abscond Abduct on to its Tivo, who is going to find their health very, very low, but not quite there. They go down. Eventually, Skyfalker falling as well. Precipitosity will follow next. Kaiser Elite drops as well. Captain Acampus is trying to stay alive as long as possible and make things happen. The flash away is not enough to keep him safe. Haynat trying to eat up Big Goose, but Big Goose watches the belly of their top laner go down. Prodigy Ace find themselves in a sticky situation as Big Goose is the next one to fall from Daniel Galindo with a maximizing the teleport advantage there. We'll try to find something onto Prodigy Ace, but will not be able to do it, and we'll have to dash away to safety. That's a bunch of kills over to the Quackers.
That's a 4 for 3 though. There quite a few went back over to Pot of Greed. And can somebody look up for me? Just what's the cooldown for Mumu ult at level 2? Because he used that bot lane in the gank and then had it again for that team fight.
Oh my gosh, Prodigy Ace. There's nothing to do versus that. They try to keep their mid tower alive. Their mid tower is still alive. Prodigy Ace is not.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing where you sometimes just have to let the tower take one for the team.
The Quackers are trying to blow this game wide open. Daniel Galindo says, hey, that's my pink ward, and tries to TP in, but it doesn't keep it alive. Haynat is finding themselves in the receiving end of a bunch of damage here. Is going to have to put the second skin down. The Abyssal Voyage is enough to keep them safe for now. The Amumu ulti coming down. Skyfalker falling. It's Tivo and Kaiser Elite are going to find themselves in a difficult 2 versus 4 situation. They're able to pick up 1, but it's going to be a 1 for 3 in favor of the Quackers. Again, finding themselves on the benefiting end of a brutal team fight.
Yeah, and you know, even though Skyfalker fell from the sky, you might say, it ended up working out for the benefit of the Quackers.
Yeah, Skyfalker has had a tough time trying to activate this Silas pick, but is, you know, having the rest of his team happen here as Daniel Galindo tries to make the flash knock-up work over here. Acamped is not going to be able to find the flag and drag over onto Big Goose. Big Goose is trying to kite away as much as possible, but those are 2 beefy boys with 10 kills between them. It's going to be near impossible to take it. Prodigy Ace goes down as well.
You saw that too, right? He got 40% of his health back in 1 auto.
Yeah, I did see that.
Oh my god.
I did see that.
But if I'm Skyfalker right now, I'm saying, I'm not the carry of this game. What can I do to help support my teammates? Because it's clear that the Akali kept him in check. Doesn't mean that you can't be useful, but don't play like the main character, you know?
Right. The Abscond Abduct, the stun, going to be able to make something happen, being able to pull away a crucial ult, pulling away the Curse of the Sad Mummy, pulling away the... I have to know what this is called. The Encore from Seraphine, trying to make something critical happen. Even being able to take away the Devour from Tom Kench to try to save a teammate. any of these options potentially quite valuable.
You got 200.
Oh, Kaiser
600 plus
Elite
gold bounties
wants to try to
that
get
can be
their
protected
jungle,
right now.
but this is just such a brutal situation. The Curse of the Sad Mummy will delay the inevitable Skyfalker trying to find their way onto Big Goose is going to drop their own Curse of the Sad Mummy, and the Big Goose is going to drop shortly after that. Kaiser Elite trying to keep themselves alive is going to keep themselves alive for just a little bit longer, but watches the rest of his team fall to the Quackers, who are leaving no stone left unturned.
Yeah, and it's never a good situation when you see a Mumu using his ult defensively to try to escape. You see that, you know that the team with the Mumu is in dire straits.
Yeah, it was a difficult situation trying to kite away. Kaiser Elite able to keep themselves alive, but watches their mid and bot laner fall. This is looking like a very difficult game for Pot of Greed to come back in. But we've seen Gold Lead swing harder. What does Pot of Greed need to do at this point in order to stop the bleeding and find a footing back in this game?
Yeah, it's difficult because you see the strongest players on the team not necessarily being aligned with who can carry this game. Akali definitely has some kills, has some gold on her. She's gonna start to fall off as the game gets into the really late game. What you really want to see is money on the Kai'Sa. So they got to be talking about. I have to imagine they wanted like a protect the president comp with the Kai'Sa pick. So they got to be talking about how can we get kills onto Kai'Sa? How can we get her to her late game power spikes? Because that's where the damage that's going to win you team fights is going to come from.
Camped buffers the Curse of the Sad Mummy. I did not know
And
that you could buffer that.
That right there was them looking for exactly what I was talking about. They sent out Curse of the Sad Mummy, and right after that, followed up with Encore to try to secure it for Kai'Sa. Unfortunately for them, Captain Camp was able to escape.
Yeah, the flag and drag being able to pull a Camped away to safety despite getting stunned up. And a Camp just going to try to make something happen. The Cataclysm goes down. Big Goose finds themselves in a difficult situation and watches the health bar disappear. Kaiser Elite trying to make something return happen on the backline, but a Camped goes back in to try to knock them up, stands there, hits S and tanks tower. Kaiser Elite trying to stave away the Precipitosity and Red Quaker bot lane duo from doing more damage and successfully keeps Prodigy Ace alive, but will they be able to keep their tower alive and their hopes in this game alive?
Yeah, it's difficult because, you know, Big Goose is looking at a gray screen again. Can't be happy about that.
Daniel Galindo putting a lot of hurt down onto Haynat. Haynat finding themselves running away here. And I feel like this, I never know who's going to win between the TK. I mean, I feel like it's a little bit more one-sided now, but between this Tom Kench and Aatrox, Haynat and Daniel Galindo, this is one of those moments. It's just like shake hands, gents. Like well played, you know.
I agree. I think they've both done their level best to help their teams. I think the thing that you really hate to see after that mid lane fight, if you're Pot of Greed, is another kill going on to the Mel, because any team fight that she's involved in now, that execute threshold, which we unfortunately can't see for some reason, is super, super dangerous to every member on Pot of Greed.
Yeah, I mean, it's Perspicacity. It's such a, what a name. I like Perspicacity. I feel like that has just like so much like da-da-da-da-da-da to it, and that feels fun.
Oh, that's the sound effect from
that's Mel. That's Mel. Oh my gosh, that's why they have such good synergy with these picks.
Yeah, they thought this stuff out in advance. They're thinking of things that even the other team and the other players in the league probably aren't thinking about.
I mean, that's the kind of synergy that you just can't buy. That's got to happen.
Too true. Speaking of synergy,
oh my gosh, Daniel Galindo on a demon flank tries to find its TiVo. The Encore coming through will not be reflected. There's no reflect there. Kaiser Elite dropping the Curse of the Sad Mummy, trying to put a lot of card control down onto the Quackers, but the Quackers are just so beefy that they're able to withstand the affront. Kaiser Elite is finding their health bar ticking down, down, down. Prodigy Ace finds themselves looking at a gray screen once again in this game as Perspicacity and Red Quaker find themselves another 2v2 kill. They are locked in. There's just not enough damage from Pot of Greed to follow up on that engage.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. They actually did a really, really good job of keeping Big Goose up for that fight and trying to funnel kills toward him. They even gave the shutdown from the Aatrox over to Big Goose. It's just that because they weren't able to get some of that gold funneled earlier in the game, Big Goose did not have enough damage to keep that fight going for Pot of Greed.
And a couple of quackers, they are looking in a certain position to win this game. I've seen games swing harder, so it really ain't over till the Nexus explodes. But it's looking very difficult for Pot of Greed to find a way back into this game.
Yeah, they're lucky in the sense that they do still have one inhibitor, because triple inhibitor at this point in the game would make it almost impossible for them to be outside their base. As it stands, only 2 super minions per wave crash into their base is a lot more manageable than 6.
Oh, frick, I forgot to start the prediction.
Oh, well.
Well,
Who wants
classic.
to bet on a couple of quackers, you guys? No, we can't do it now.
Rats. I wish we could, like, manually adjust the odds.
That would be interesting, yeah. Because it would pay out a lot more now if Pot of Greed managed to come back.
But we can't, because we don't have any house schmecks. I was going to drop 20k this game. Yeah, nice hindsight analysis. Please,
We got
please bet
4.5
responsibly.
minutes until Chemtech Drake, which, you know, Pot of Greed is already having trouble laying down enough damage in team fights to keep up. You give Chemtech Soul over to the Quackers.
I don't think this is a kill, right? Oh my gosh. The Bandage Toss is able to connect onto Daniel Galindo as Big Goose finds themselves flying in. Daniel Galindo going to pop the ulti and the flash to get away as the reverse play comes in on the top side. The stolen Encore is going to find its way onto 2 members of Pot of Greed. It's Tivo going to try to find themselves going away after Prodigy Ace falls. Daniel Galindo is probably sure to fall after this. Try to put that money into Big Goose's pockets. They will successfully do so. It's a 1-for-1.
Yeah, that's surprising. I thought we would see more kills out of the Quackers counter-engaged top lane, and honestly kind of thought Daniel Galindo was going to get away after he dodged the initial engage, but well played from Pot of Greed to get more gold onto the Kai'Sa. They know that that's what they need.
We've seen a Baron play before. The stolen curse of the sad mummy comes down. Kaiser Elite finding themselves exhausted, trying to run away, is watching their health bar disappear, trying to put some crowd control down to keep their team alive. Big Goose is putting some damage down, is able to pick up a kill on the backside on the purple Kashapa, and Haynad is going to find themselves dying after this one. That's a 3-for-1. That is not the kind of trade that Pot of Greed wants to make. They're able to delay the Baron, but they have to go back and save their base.
Yeah, even if Big Goose wanted to stay and try to look for more kills, there was a need, even though Seraphine was coming back into the base, there was a need for the ADC to go back with actual wave clear to clean up the super minions.
Baron falling, going over to the side of the Quackers, who will surely attempt to use that purple buff to put themselves in front of the blue victory screen to take the first stream series of the low-budget LCS.
I do wonder if we might see them just try to end with Baron through mid or top. There's still 2 turrets up bot lane right now, and they have the stronger team fight to a fairly significant degree at this point, so they might just try to bully their way straight to the Nexus.
More than a 10,000 gold lead for the Quackers. They might just be able to wallet slap their way over to the Nexus of Pot of Greed, who will find themselves in the position of trying to make one last stand.
I love that. Wallet slap. I'm stealing that.
That's a good one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Love a
And it
good
does
wallet
look like
slap,
they're
says
gonna-
him. I bet you do.
Looks like they're going to try to push for a triple inhib. They're not taking any chances. They know
Nat
that.
is in. Hey, bud, you're in a real tough position over here. Puts Daniel
Oh,
Galindo
yeah.
on his belly. The turret is going to fall. Haynat finds themselves turretless and healthless. It's a 5v4 with Baron up. This is the last stand of all last stands. Will Pot of Greed be able to make it happen?
They see super minions crashing on the Nexus turrets, so Pot of Greed might not even have anything safe to fall back on once this turret goes down. Quacker's fully well aware that only their mistakes can lose the game for them at this point. Playing it safe, making all the right decisions.
They say, you know what? It's probably a little bit more important for us to save our Nexus turrets. We're going to let that turret fall. We're going to have to hold at Nexus. It's TiVo on a pretty interesting flank here. They know that It's TiVo is trying to make that flank work. It's TiVo trying to go in onto Red Quaker 1313. Is going to find a ton of damage. Is going to actually be able to find the execute there. It flashes away from the Abscond Abduct. It's now a 4v4. Is going to find themselves a 4-man Curse of the Sad Mummy, with the reverse encore coming back onto the Pot of Greed team. Is going to make it very challenging for Skyfalker following after Big Goose with Pershma is following after that. Big Goose falls. Kaiser Elite, last man standing for their team, will fall just as Haynat comes back alive. The GGs go out. Haynat will not try to put up a fight. The Quackers take a couple of wins for their team. They are going to take a 2-0 for the first stream season, low budget LCS season 17.
And you know what they say, desperate times call for desperate measures. I love the idea from It's TiVo. Just really, really hard to follow up on that execution correctly when your team is already so far behind in gold. It was a great attempt, just too little too late, and well won by a couple of Quackers.
It is such a strong victory. If there are Quackers in the chat and you would like to come on for a brief post-game interview, please join LBLCS community and I will drag you in. I remember when I think my first streamed game in the LBLCS, stream match, we won. I was brought on for, oh my god, they sent Perpika Puppeta. All right, let's bring the man, the myth, the legend himself, Pershpika Shopasa. Welcome to the post-game interview for the low-budget LCS. You are on air. How you doing?
Greetings. I'm all right.
Yeah, it must be
I'm a
feeling
little
pretty good
sad
after
we
that
didn't get
win.
to play the Oriana support that I threatened, but we, it probably wasn't really the play there. I don't know.
Dude, Oriana support's kind of gas.
It's very playable.
I appreciate somebody else who's willing to pick whatever. Tell us a little bit about that game, what that was like for you. You're getting some people complaining in chat because you leaked the draft strat.
I leaked the Ori support. I've said it several times in several places. I don't, I am threatening people with a good time. But that game was, both of those games were like, all of us are a relatively new roster. We didn't know what to expect. We played like a week together, and it's like, yeah, pick stuff and send it. Pick stuff that's simple. It worked out pretty well. I don't know. They took my Seraphine, and that was a choice. She's not. Yeah, you got to ban Mel basically if you're gonna do that. I don't know. Really, you got to ban Mel and Braum, but
yeah, it looked like the Mel was pretty turbo into that Seraphine pick there, but it looked like the Leona Mel specifically as a combo was incredibly powerful.
Yeah, if you don't kill them pre-5, it's miserable for you. You just kind of she ults and you die, and then you cry about it. Like, it's just, that's how the lane works. I don't know.
Can you clarify if your top laner's name is Diego Galindo or Daniel Galindo, or is Diego Galindo a separate Daniel Galindo?
As far as I understand, Daniel Galindo is their name. That's that's the name in game, Daniel. So
well, seeing
and
Diego Galindo
there's
1313, Quaker 1313, I'm wondering, do you have two Galindos?
I don't know. We haven't played with like all of the subs on ever. Like, we haven't done a lot of practice with all the groups yet. So like, don't know.
We're getting
all right,
confirmation. Yes, Diego is Red Quaker.
Wow.
Okay, that makes sense.
Y'all are Galindo maxing. Power of family.
Indeed.
I was pretty sure they were siblings, but I hadn't actually asked yet. So yeah, that makes sense.
Well, now you have confirmation live on air, and there will be a recording on YouTube for you to go back and watch after that.
Oh man, I can't wait to listen to all of the casters say perspicaciosity a lot and get it right every time.
Is that how it's pronounced? Perspicaciosity?
So there's a word in the dictionary. It's perspicacious is the word.
Okay.
And perspicaciosity is not a word, but it helps with the pronunciation. So perspicacious is a dumb word. It just means observant. That's it. Like, that's it. It's just one of those words. It's like, we have to have an extra word because it was just silly.
I mean, they'd be fairly perspicacious to notice that word sticking around in the dictionary.
Arguably.
All I have to say is I'm really glad that you just said it like 3 times in a row because perspicaciosity, I have a question for you, and now I know how to say it correctly.
Excellent.
So I'm actually a little surprised to hear that you hadn't had a lot of time to practice with your team because I was very impressed with how in sync you were with Red Quaker 1313 in the first game on the Ezreal Nautilus. You guys fell behind a little bit early, but you still seem to really know exactly how far you could push the boundaries.
I'm
Uh,
really glad we got that all in on the Jinx. Like I was saying in group chat, like with everybody, you can die as much as you want, really, and it doesn't matter very much, except in the 40 seconds before Dragon. And
Mm.
we died a lot in the beginning of that game, but it was not in the first 40 seconds before Dragon ever, and that was the key point. So it was nice. And yeah, me and Red Quaker we've played a little bit together and whatnot. And last night we played a couple of games with me on the Enchanters, and they were basically like, "You should play engage tanks for a bit." And I was like, "Yeah, okay."
I've gotten
I
the
like
same
I like
feedback. Yeah.
Enchanters. I love Enchanters. They're so much fun. But you have to like fight people in lane, like the entire lane. It's really draining. So,
Oh, it's
you
so
know,
irritating.
yeah. But
So
the
I was
the
curious
Seraphine
though.
will happen at some point, and it'll be something. So
We're waiting.
Can't wait to see it. I was curious though, what were the comms like in that situation when you went for that pick on Jinx? Did you guys know exactly like how far you could chase there? Or were you just saying we need to go for it and let's try something? Give me a little bit of insight.
it was mostly, we have to go on them now. They've overextended. Let's get them, like that sort of thing. And then just like, babble as we were all casting all of our spells. But I
Hmm.
props to Red Quaker. Like he was willing to just flash on the play, and I love it. Like it
It was a
was,
great flash.
yeah, it was very necessary to go right there. I think like that was the crux of us getting that dragon and like blowing the game open was basically we had to make that work. So yeah.
100% agree. We loved it as well.
Well, perspicacity, was there anything that you would like to say to help us kick off season 17 of the low budget LCS? It's a lot of pressure,
You
I
could
know.
play everything in bot lane for 8 years. I'm glad people finally figured that out. Yeehaw. Hi, Sam. I assume you're watching. I don't know.
There you go.
Woo.
Well, thank you very
Thanks
much
for
for
having me on.
coming on. You can go ahead
Mhm.
and disconnect, and we will see you the next time around.
Thanks,
thank
casters
you.
and everybody for setting things up. I appreciate it. Bye.
Of course. Take care. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Now, that is what I love about the LBLCS, right? Coming on, being able to be interviewed. You're a person. We're going to say your name. That is what makes this league so special. Pocket Sand, anything that you would like to say before we close out our stream, the first stream for this season?
Yeah, just thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to join tonight. Fresh on the stream team this season. Really looking forward to being part of the LBLCS. Got my introduction through Milk Esports, but this seems like a super fun community, and I'm excited for what season 17 is going to bring.
Shout out Vega. Absolutely. Milky Sports. Pretty good spot. And we wouldn't know that it was your first time over here on the low budget LCS casting desk. And it was a very warm welcome. So, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to the low budget LCS Twitch stream. This VOD will be up on YouTube shortly. Check tomorrow morning, I guess. And we will see you all on the next stream. And don't forget, it takes two to tango. Have a good night.